listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your morning dose of business and technology, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Be sure to subscribe now so you never miss an episode. District Attorney Patsy Austin Gatson, the first African-American and woman DA in Gwinnett County, and her team are transforming justice. Championing equity and effective prosecution, they've achieved an 80% murder conviction rate and a 90% success rate in drug and gang task force cases, notably against fentanyl. Vote for a safer Gwinnett County. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Patsy Austin Gatson for District Attorney.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of my friends around the world. It's a frosty day here in Gwinnett County, a little overcast too, 39 degrees going up to a high of 47. But check this out, y'all. They said tomorrow is going to be like 65. So that's going to be pretty nice. I think that's going to be a pretty nice day. We're going to jump from winter to spring in one day. That's Georgia for you. That is Georgia for you. Before I go any further, so I've been doing the show a little bit different, right? I cut out a lot of the music because people said they didn't want so much fluff. I said, okay. I cut out all the horoscopes. I cut out all the national days. I said I was going to continue to do birthday shout-outs, but I keep forgetting because I'm so focused on getting this new format down pat that I forgot birthdays, right? So happy birthday to my brother Michael Bell. His birthday was on Monday. What's the day? His birthday was on Sunday. That's another reason I probably forgot his birthday, because it was the 21st. So happy birthday, Michael Bell. Love you. And today, baby, today is the special day. Today is my granddaughter's birthday. Happy birthday, sugar baby. Today is her birthday. She turned a big 5 years old. Oh, my God, how time flies. I talked to her early this morning. I talk to her every morning. She calls me every morning before she goes to school. Happy birthday, my sugar baby. That's my sugar baby, y'all. So anyway, I want to wish Carter a happy. Her name is Carter. I call her sugar baby. Happy birthday, Carter. That part of the show and the inspiration of the day, I'm going to keep going. So you guys just have to bear with me for at least 60 seconds before I get on with the show. So today I'm talking about how to actually start a YouTube channel so that it can impact your podcast. So for those of you who don't know, I've been podcasting for a very long time, since about 2009. But back then, nobody thought to put a podcast on YouTube. Let me say this. I didn't think to put a podcast on YouTube. Let me say that. That wasn't a thought. I don't think anybody thought about it. But fast forward to today, that's a big thing. You should have your podcast. You should have your content on as many platforms as you can possibly manage. And if you can't manage them by yourself, then maybe you want to get somebody to help you. This show here has been syndicated to YouTube, I think since I started. Well, not since I started, because I think I got 769 episodes, I think, on the channel with the podcast, right? So I've been podcasting and syndicating Good Morning Gwinnett to YouTube. I think I have about 769 episodes syndicated over there. And the reason it's not more is because I didn't know that I had two Good Morning Gwinnett YouTube channel. So half of my channel, half of my shows is on one channel, and the other half is on another channel. But this is the main channel. I've decided this is my main channel, which encompasses everything Good Morning Gwinnett. So I'm going to keep building that channel out. But I've been there since then. I've been syndicated to Facebook ever since then, and I'm syndicated to Twitter. So since I started the show, I've been syndicated to Twitter, Facebook, and also YouTube. So almost all of my episodes are pretty much on all of those platforms. I think every one of them is on Facebook and Twitter, because I don't have two channels over there. I've always had just one channel. So we're going to talk about, because now I'm going 10 toes down, as someone once said, 10 toes down on growing my content and my personal brand. And the way to do that is to have all of these platforms working together. So Good Morning Gwinnett is now on LinkedIn. I'm syndicating it also over to Instagram, which I've never done that, which is different. So now I syndicate it to LinkedIn. It's go to LinkedIn after it's done. It goes to Instagram. I wish I wish Spreaker would set it up where I could stream directly to LinkedIn, where I could stream directly to Instagram. That would save me a lot of time. I don't know why they won't do that. That would be so wonderful to be able to stream my show live, just like I stream it to LinkedIn, and just like I stream it to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. It'll be nice if I could add that to LinkedIn and Instagram. Oh my, TikTok. Oh, forget about it. All of those platforms instantly. I may need to figure out a workaround for that. I might need to figure out a workaround for how to do my StreamYard, my Spreaker live stream to the other platforms as well. So then I'll be streamed live to 6 platforms all at once, which would be great. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you today about, ways that having a YouTube channel can actually impact your business. What's interesting about what I'm doing now, I recently changed my format for the show. So for those of you who are listening for the first time, I decided to remove all the fluff because a listener said, Audrey, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I want you to get to the point. It's too much fluff before you get to the point. And I said, okay, great. So I decided to change the format. What I did was I decided to change all of my thumbnails. So because my show is automatically syndicated over to Spreaker, you get all of Spreaker's, now this is funny, but you get all of Spreaker's branding on my show. So if you look at my YouTube channel, it has my one little podcast art for the day, whatever that is. But then the rest of the branding is Spreaker's branding. So you see black and yellow everywhere. You see a little picture of what I got going on that page. But for the most part, the brand that's popping out is all Spreaker. So I got 700 and something episodes that has pretty much all Spreaker branding. So I had to change that. So going forward, I decided to change my thumbnails. So because my show is live, after the show is done, I go over to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, and I change out my thumbnails because now I needed to show Good Morning Gwinnett as the brand. What has been interesting about that, I'm not getting a whole lot of views, but it's not taking me a month to get 6 views. So I'm excited about that. So I'm looking at my little numbers like, wait a minute now. All I got to do is find one good viral show and I'm going to pop off. So I'm getting views on every episode now versus where, as before, I was not getting views. So that's the first thing. YouTube is going to help you boost your impact by giving you views. So you have to make sure your titles look good. You may have to make sure your thumbnails look good. I've changed all of that. So now it's not generic anymore. I have a thumbnail because I'm creating a brand. It's a branded thumbnail. It has GMG across the top. It's blue and yellow and white. So when people see that, they're going to know it's Good Morning Gwinnett. That's going to help people become more familiar with my brand because YouTube is pushing the brand out. I'm excited about that. Some people may not be excited about 9 views. Me, on the other hand, I am because I know that I've had a channel on YouTube for so long and it's taken me so long to get 9 views. Now, that's not a lot. And trust me when I tell you, I'm working every day to figure out how to get more and more channels. Now, I do know that in order for me to build this personal brand, I have to have more video. So what I'm going to be doing on Fridays is that's going to be my video where you see my face channel. My FaceTime. I was going to do every episode video. I said, I can't do it. I cannot do 5 days of video. I can't do it. It's too much. Live, it's too much. So Fridays are going to be my video day where you see my face. So that's going to be a video uploaded to my YouTube channel where you see my face because now, and it's going to be something on business. It won't be news. It's going to always be business. I've decided to pivot that part of my business. So instead of me talking about what's happening around Gwinnett County on the podcast and the video, I'm talking business and technology. Things that I love. I love Gwinnett County too, but that's going to be more article based. So if you want to know what's happening in Gwinnett County, it's going to be more article based. This right here is going to be audio and video, and it's about business and technology. So on Friday, starting when I come back from Podfest, because I got to go to Podfest, I got to speak next week. That next Friday, I will start doing videos. So that's going to be videos where I'm interviewing business people, where I'm talking business and technology. I'm excited about that part because I was like, okay, I can do that part. It makes sense for me. I can't do 5 days of video. I just can't do it. And I thought about doing it. I even talked about doing it, but I was like, no. And the reason I said that was because I know YouTube is going to help with the visibility, but I can't do it. All right, so YouTube is not just a social media platform. It's a search engine. So if you put out content like this is a how-to content, right? And why to? If you put out content that's going to impact somebody's life on your podcast and you syndicate it to YouTube, chances are they're going to click this to listen, right? What I love about what YouTube has done now, there is a way for you to create a playlist just for your podcast. So every time I put up an episode now, I go over there, I edit the thumbnail, I put my own thumbnail, I go back and I make sure I add this episode to the podcast playlist. So now people know it's a podcast. The other thing I'm starting to do is put podcast, #podcast in the title. So now people know it's not a video, it's a podcast. I want them to know that because sometimes people get a little discouraged because, they come and they want to watch a video and all they see is all they hear is talking. So that's going to show podcasting moving forward. YouTube is huge. It's the second largest search engine. It's owned by Google, so that go figure, So if you have the best SEO in place, like I'm doing a lot of SEO for my YouTube, for my podcast. I put a description. I got hashtags. I got things like that. I'm trying to get the titles down. I'm using vidIQ to get my titles. Listen, this is a science, y'all. And when I tell y'all that it's not easy. So I'm doing a lot of stuff to be seen. The other reason why YouTube is going to impact your podcast is because it's going to give you a broader audience, right? So you have your podcast on your platform, your streaming platform, whatever platform you use. I happen to use Spreaker because of the capabilities to go live every morning. Whatever platform you use, you're going to have you could have some exposure on that platform. But if you syndicate over to YouTube, it's going to create an even broader audience. Now, that being said, you can syndicate, but your titles could be jacked up. Your thumbnails could be jacked up. Your SEO could be jacked up, and still nobody will see you. So even though you are syndicated to a platform like a YouTube where the audience is broader, you have to make sure that all of these things are in place. You have to make sure that the thumbnail looks good, that the title makes sense, that the episode is optimized. All of these little tiny things that go into this have to be in check, have to be in place. All right, so this one thing here that I love about what YouTube has done is that it allows you to build a community too, right? So my goal right now is to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. That's what I'm pushing for, 1,000 subscribers. Because at that point, I can activate ways to make money on YouTube other than YouTube ads, right? Or Google ads, because it gives you the opportunity to build a community. It gives the opportunity for people to love your thing and subscribe to your channel, and all these little money making things that does not require you to be a YouTube partner. Does not require you to have YouTube ads paying you, right? So that whole community building piece. Now, let me say this about community building. I just was talking to somebody about this yesterday. Building a community is definitely a good thing. But before you start building your community on a YouTube, any other platform, make sure that you have somebody, if it's not going to be you, to manage the community, because people will have questions. And if you don't have someone to manage your community will fall off because they're not being taken care of. So even though that is a good thing that YouTube has done, they built this community piece for you, so now you can have a community on YouTube. Who's looking after the children? That's all I'm saying. Who's looking after the children? Someone has to take care of the children in the community. So think about that for a second. It's good to have a community. I'm the president of the Gwinnett Women's Chamber of Commerce. That's a community. But I do know if I fall off the face of earth and I don't have anybody to manage the community will suffer and they will fall off. Right? So you got to remember that. Okay? All right, I'm going to go to a song. I'll be right back after this song to bring you more of how to leverage YouTube to impact the exposure for your podcast. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Time's been moving slowly, so we already in too deep. Can't get no sleep on each other, heavy teasing all day, and when the sun sets, you asking me to come through, kick it with you. Night turning to morning dew, then you feel it freshen and lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place. No, my place is your place. Let's face it. won't stop. Got the key to the lock, we in our own zone. Make yourself at home, get to know mine on the inside. We can meet at yours next time. And you feel it fresh and lose control. You don't wanna go slow, for sure. We both already know your place is my place. Now my place is your place. Let's face it, baby. You know all the places. My place is your place. Your place is my place. Just face it. No one knows my places like you do. Your places like I do. My place like you do.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show. I'm your host, Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you the daily business and the daily dose of business and technology. I'm getting there, y'all. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I'm getting used to saying your daily dose of business and technology. That's the new title of the show. Today we're talking about how you can use YouTube to help you boost impact to your podcast. I think when people think about YouTube, they think it's a lot of work, and it is. I'm not going to even front with y'all. It is a lot of work, but there's so many ways that you can do this. So remember what I just said. Right now, my show is syndicated directly from Spreaker, which is my hosting account over to YouTube, right? And I've been doing this. I have over 700 episodes over there between the two channels. It's probably all 1,000 of them, and I have like 1,050 now, I think, or something crazy. But when you go over there and you set yourself up where you got your logos or your picture, like if you really want people to get to know you, do your picture. I don't use my picture because I like to use the logo because it's the brand that I'm building, but I'm going to use me in personal videos to start building a personal brand. So my videos will come out every Friday. Then I'm going to chop them up into shorts, and it's all going to be on that channel. The channel is now more about business and technology, as before it was about Gwinnett County. And not that I don't love my county, I do, but I just felt like I want to grow faster, and I had to make some changes. It was tough. It was tough, y'all. It was tough. All right, so the other thing about YouTube and how it's going to help impact your business is utilizing SEO and YouTube algorithms, right? So you got to create some good content. You got to make your description compelling. Now, let me tell y'all something. AI can be your friend. Now, but let me just say this. AI is not, it's smart, but you have to prompt it the right way. I've been doing articles all morning since about 8 o'clock, right? And I was trying to get this one title, and I still didn't get it. So when I'm doing when I'm doing the articles for my website, I know what I want to say. I tell AI, this is what I'm talking about today. Turn this into something. And it does, right? But today I was working on my title. And when I tell y'all, I could not get above a 71. So a 71 is like the grade that you give a title that's gonna be good in SEO. I could not get my title above a 71. Yesterday, I think my title was like a 93. I could not get the title above 71, and that's not super bad, but I like to be in the green. So the way my website is set up, when I'm doing my articles and stuff, it tells me what my title score is. Anytime I hit green, that's a great title. Anything, and I think to get to green, I got to be doing a 80. I'm at 71. So it's a 71 out of 100. And I can't get, I've been trying all morning to get above 71. But here's the thing, that same kind of title has to do well in YouTube as well. So what I decided to do was go over to my YouTube account, look up some titles, and then bring them back over to my website. Well, that's not working because the titles that I saw over there, they're not working on my website. So now I have to marry the two to make sure they make sense. So now I have to craft a title that's going to be good for the algorithms on YouTube, but also good for the algorithms for the Google for my website. So this is what I'm saying. This is a science. Cannot get above a 71. As far as the article itself, and that article is great. Right now I'm sitting at 88. As soon as I publish the article, I'm sure I'm going to hit the 90s, which is good. So as it pertains to SEO, the article is a good article. The title, 71, not 80 yet. I can't even get to the 80, so I gave up. I'm like, okay, seriously, I'm good with 71 right now. But that's a way for you to, that's something for you to think about. Keywords. What kind of keywords are you looking for? You know, my keywords are business, SEO. And one thing about YouTube, you can put in a lot of keywords and hashtags, like a lot of them. Because however you want to show up, that's how you want, those are keywords you want to put in. So my keywords are AI, podcasting, women in business, entrepreneurship, small business. Those are like my main keywords because that's what I talk about. I talk about AI. I talk about podcasting all the time. I talk about women in business. I talk to women in business. I talk about small business. I talk to entrepreneurs. So those are my main keywords that I put now. I also talk about marketing and all this other stuff. You can put all of those keywords in your description. So now the SEO and the algorithms, when somebody's searching and you got good titles, good descriptions and all that, you pop up in the search engines. So that's what you want. All right, so now the last thing we're going to talk about is revenue models and how to make money and why that can impact your podcast so much. When you start a podcast, this is the first, and you try to go and get somebody to sponsor the podcast or advertise on the podcast, the first thing they ask you is what your reach is, right? So if you're just starting out, you don't have a reach. You're just starting out. Heck, most of us who started, we're still growing our reach. However, we've learned to do things like syndicate the podcast to certain platforms. Like on my LinkedIn, my total followers, community, all of that stuff on my personal stuff is over 13,000, right? So now I could tell somebody my content is syndicated to over 20,000 people, which it is because it's on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. I have to go back and syndicate to LinkedIn and Instagram, but that's what I do. So that puts me over 20,000 eyeballs or ears to your content. And so you want to get paid, right? But here's the thing. When you're just starting out, you're not going to get paid. So when you go over there and you create great keywords, you create great titles, your description is tight, your thumbnail is tight, you can do affiliate marketing. So I've just started to kind of look at this model for my YouTube channel. I have never put an affiliate link in my YouTube channel. However, I always have one. I always have something in my podcast the people can link back and buy me a cup of coffee, right? So there's a link in pretty much every episode of my podcast that says, hey, if you like this episode, buy me a cup of coffee. Now, they can make a donation of how much they want. But now I'm thinking about using Patreon as a way to monetize. And I know a lot of people on YouTube use Patreon. So Patreon is a way for your community to support you. So even before you are able to become a YouTube partner, you can start monetizing your podcast by leveraging the traffic from YouTube and by having like affiliate links or pretty soon you can do like channel memberships. Now you can't do the channel memberships, I think, until you become a partner. But you can have affiliate links in there. You can have like your Patreon link in there. You can even have a donate link in there. So if you got PayPal or something and you want somebody to donate to your channel, now let me say this disclaimer: if you are a for-profit business and people are making donations, you might want to check with your accountant to make sure that those donations can be considered donations and not revenue. Let me say that again because somebody missed it. If you have donations set up inside your podcast or your YouTube channel and you say donate to support me and people make a donation to you, you might want to check with your accountant to make sure that those donations are not counted as revenue. Because if somebody donate $1 million to your business, is that revenue or is that really a donation? You're doing something for them to donate. Is that revenue or is that really a donation? So check with your accountant on that. That's the disclaimer. Don't go out there and get all these donations because your content is amazing. Your thumbnail looks great. Your description is popping. You know, you got SEO all out the wazoo and people start loving your content and making these donations. And I'm doing air quotes, donations. And then at the end of the year, you owe Uncle Sam, right? And he's coming for your podcast and you got your foot on your YouTube neck. Check with your accountant about that. Right. But anyway, there's a way for you to make money before you get to the partnership level. And so you can do that by selling your own personal products. Like right now on my website, when I do an episode of the podcast, I do the live podcast. I take the podcast episode, I embed it in the website where there's an article to support what I just said on the podcast. But I also have links to Amazon inside of that's hyperlinked to some of the words inside of my episode. So let's say, for instance, I'm talking about podcasting. There are hyperlinks inside of my podcast episode. What I'm going to do moving forward is put that same link inside of my episode for the podcast. On the website is there. Inside my podcast description, it is not. So I've been missing out on money, but that's you live and you learn, right? So now I've learned that I need to put something other than buy me a cup of coffee inside the description of my podcast episode, which is syndicated to YouTube. Everything that I do inside the platform where my podcast is hosted is syndicated over to YouTube. So if I put a link inside the episode like I do now to something else like Amazon, it's going to syndicate that link automatically over to YouTube because it carries everything over. So think about ways to monetize. You may sell merch, right? You may have a link to your merch store. You may have a link to your TikTok store inside of your description of your show. These are the ways for you to start making money right now. And YouTube is pushing traffic to your channel because they like your SEO. They like what you're talking about. Your keywords are on. Everything is great. So now they're starting to push traffic. I know that because I'm looking at my channel like, okay, I normally wouldn't get 9 views in one day on an episode. That normally wouldn't happen. It hasn't happened, right? Now it's happening. It's happening, and I see it happening. So now I got to go back and be smart about it and make sure I have all my links inside of the descriptions. I know, guys, this is definitely a lot, and I know it's a lot. But there's a whole article on the Good Morning Gwinnett website, goodmorninggwinnett.com. You can go back and you can look at all of the information that I have there. So because I'm talking fast and I'm talking a lot, but you can also go back and listen to the episode again because it's going to be embedded on the website. Now, most of us are looking for sponsorships and possibly collaborations. I am working on a new newsletter, and I'll tell y'all about everything when I come back from Podfest because it's not ready to go out yet. But the newsletter is connected to the podcast, which is connected to my solar brokerage. The newsletter is going to be connected to the podcast, which is connected to my solar brokerage. Because I was going to do live videos about solar. I'm like, nope, not going to do that. Too much work. Don't want to do that. I'm already doing all this other stuff. However, I love the newsletter. Of course, I'm going to use AI to help me do all of this stuff. And I'm going to talk about that journey starting when I come back from Podfest. Because everything will be completely done and laid out and ready to launch. That's important. Right? Because I want collaboration. So I'm going to Podfest. I am a speaker at Podfest. But here's the other thing. I'm looking for people that I can collaborate with at Podfest because you know why? They already do podcasts. So we may swap podcast episodes. We may swap interviews to talk about what we're doing. We may swap. And that's a collaboration. I'm also looking for sponsors. You know why? Because at Podfest, there are a lot of sponsors at Podfest. So I'm going to go around and see what sponsor could possibly fit this new podcast, newsletter, and solar company that I'm launching. That's what I'm going to do. So you want to look. Now, here's the thing. YouTube is going to help you build up, but you got to make sure everything is straight. At some point, when you get to a certain level, they'll come talking to you for a sponsorship and collaborations. But in the meantime, you got to do it for yourself, right? You got to do it for yourself. And think of this as a business. If you're not thinking of this as a business, then why are you doing it? Because for me, this is my business. Noise Media Network is my company, but creating all this content is my business. So I'm thinking about this as a business. I have a business account. I have a business EIN. I have all of these things pertaining to the business. This is my business. And when you start to think about this as a business, you want to make sure that your brand is everywhere. Think about McDonald's and KFC and Burger King and Dunkin' Donuts. You can pretty much go anywhere in the world and see a McDonald's. I've been to Jamaica, there's a McDonald's. I've been to the Bahamas, there's a McDonald's. I think there's probably one in Africa. Pretty much you can go to any corner of the continent and find a McDonald's. Do you want your brand to be the same? Now, that being said, are you ready to handle what comes with that? Because saying that and becoming that could be something totally different. Yes, I'm ready. I want my brand to be global. I want people to know me. Do you really though? Because when you start to become a global brand, it takes away from your privacy. So you just want to keep that in mind. I know we're trying to grow our business because that's what we want to do. But I want you to keep that in mind as you grow. And these platforms, they're so powerful. Podcasting platform, YouTube and crack platform, they're so powerful. You can grow with consistency and diligence and hard work. You can grow. You can grow $1 million businesses. I know because I've seen people do it and I'm on my journey to do the same. But are you ready for everything that comes with that? Because that requires a whole nother mindset. And that's a whole nother show for a whole nother episode for a whole nother show. When we'll talk about that, because are you ready for success? That's a mindset that, not everybody's ready for. Not everybody's ready for. But I hope you're ready for it. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you now think about why you need to have your podcast on YouTube as well. You need to have your podcast in as many places as possible. And there are some tools that help you syndicate your hosting platform, syndicate your show out to a lot of platforms already. I don't know who you're hosting with, but if you look at the hosting distribution, I'm sure that it distributes your podcast to a whole lot of platforms already, right? I will say you got to make your content helpful, entertaining, or it has to pull heartstrings. Otherwise, it's just going to sit on a channel like mine has done for so long. Like, I did get views, but I felt like after doing so many episodes, I should have thousands and thousands and thousands of views, and that wasn't the case. So, I had to make a pivot. You may have to make a pivot. You may have to change some things up so you can move forward if you're thinking about this thing as a business. Everybody's not thinking about it as a business. They're just doing something. I always thought about it as a business, and I couldn't figure out exactly the path until now. I have the path. I love the path. I'll stay on the path. It's going to grow. It's going to be $1 million business by the end of this year. I'm excited about that. And so I look forward to coming back and sharing with you all the things that I'm doing to get to this $1 million. Now, I know somebody saying, $1 million is nothing today. It's not, right? But I will be the first person in my family, in my entire family that I know of, my immediate family, to hit the $1 million mark. So that's exciting for me. So I'm excited about that. So because I want them to know, because when I hit it, I'm going to tell y'all right now, when I hit the $1 million mark, I'm sure I'm going for $5 million after that. And only because now it becomes a game, because guess what? Money's not a problem. My business is thriving. The bills are paid. It is what it is. So when I hit that $1 million mark, now I got to go for 5. So I can show my family, listen, I just did $1 million. Now I'm going for 5. I'm all in. And when I get to $1 million, I'm all in. It becomes a game for real. You know why? Because I have marketing money, like a lot of it. Like, not my little marketing budget that I put out every month, like $500. I'm talking about a $5,000 marketing budget a month. That's what I'm talking about. Not 500. I'm doing 500 now. I need to do 5,000. Somebody said, you do $500 a month in marketing? Yup, I do. And that's not nearly enough, but it helps. It really does. All right, listen, that's all I got for you today. But before I go, I want to give you my words of inspiration, because I want you to feel inspired. I want you to feel motivated. I want you to get out there and make it happen, because you can. So here's my word of the day, my word of inspiration for the day. It's always too early to quit. I'm going to say it one more time because somebody missed that short little quote. It's always too early to quit. Norman Vincent Peale said that, and he was right. Listen, don't quit until you have done everything possible. When I tell you, there have been times I have questioned some things that I've done, and I was like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. But then I thought about it, don't quit. When I first started podcasting, it wasn't a thing. And guess what I did? I quit. But when I started this podcast, I vowed to myself, no matter what, I will not quit. I will not quit until Good Morning Gwinnett becomes $1 million division in my company. I won't quit. I won't quit. I won't quit. I won't quit. And you don't quit either. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here and spending some time with me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent the last 34 minutes with me. And I love and appreciate you for that. I hope you're liking the new format. No fluff. Not a lot of fluff anyway. A lot of talking, but not a lot of fluff. And it's going to get better. Give me some time. It's going to continuously get better. It's a new format for me, and I'm working through it. So just give me some time. But right now, I hope that you're enjoying this. If you are enjoying these episodes, these new episodes of my new format, please do me a favor and share this episode with the family or friend. Also, be sure to subscribe to the show on all of my channels, my LinkedIn channel, my YouTube channel, my Facebook channel, my Instagram channel. I'm everywhere. Twitter. Follow me and to connect with me. I appreciate you for that. The more you connect, the better I grow. And if you need any questions about anything, I will be launching Podcast University again starting in April. April Podcast University is going to come back in April, where I teach you how to start your own podcast. And so you can learn how not to do all of the things that I've done wrong. How about that? You're going to learn how to start, but you're also going to learn how not to do all the crap that I did wrong. So be sure to Go to goodmorninggwinnett.com. I'm going to upload that a little bit later today, Podcast University. And you can find it on goodmorninggwinnett.com later on today. All right, I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. God willing. You guys stay safe out there. And until next time, my friends, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett Show, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, bringing you your morning dose of business and technology Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe today and share it with a friend so you never miss an episode. For past episodes, visit us on the web at www.goodmorninggwinnett.com.